For more than 2 decades, David and Victoria Beckham have lived under an intense public spotlight, their marriage tested repeatedly by rumors, speculation, and relentless media scrutiny, yet for years they chose silence, until now. Victoria Beckham, born Victoria Caroline Adams in April 1974 in Essex, grew up in a stable, upper-middle-class home, the daughter of a successful electronics engineer, a childhood that looked privileged from the outside but often left her feeling out of place, embarrassed by her family's wealth and searching for confidence she found only on stage. From a young age, performing became her refuge, and with her parents' support she trained in dance, drama, and music at the prestigious Lane Theatre Arts, slowly shaping the discipline and ambition that would define her future. After early struggles, including a short-lived pop group that never took off, her life changed forever in 1994 when she answered an ad in the stage, leading her to join 4 other young women who would soon become the Spice Girls. As Posh Spice, Victoria stood out for her polished style, quiet confidence, and reserved demeanor, and when the group's debut single Wannabe exploded worldwide in 1996, they weren't just pop stars, they were a cultural movement. Fame came fast and unforgiving, and while the world judged her seriousness, Victoria stayed focused, unaware that another global star was about to enter her life. David Beckham, born in 1975 in East London, grew up in a football-obsessed working-class household, driven by talent and discipline that earned him a place at Manchester United's youth academy and, by 17, a debut on one of the biggest stages in football. With his precision on the pitch and growing media appeal, David quickly became more than an athlete, he was a rising icon. When he met Victoria in 1997 at a charity football match, their worlds collided instantly, and what began with a phone number scribbled on a plane ticket soon became one of the most talked-about romances in Britain. The press crowned them Posh and Becks, and as their relationship intensified, so did the attention, culminating in a headline-dominating engagement and a lavish 1999 wedding at Luttrellstown Castle that felt less like a ceremony and more like the birth of a global brand. As they built a family, welcoming Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, and later Harper, the Beckhams worked to balance fame with normalcy, raising their children with structure, affection, and strong values despite cameras never being far away. But in 2003, everything was shaken when David moved to Real Madrid, leaving Victoria and their young children in the UK, and in 2004 allegations surfaced that he had an affair with his assistant, Rebecca Luz. The story exploded, fueled by televised interviews and tabloid headlines, as Luz described an intense relationship she claimed left her emotionally attached and ultimately hurt, while David publicly denied the accusations and stood firm in defending his marriage. Victoria remained silent, appearing beside him as they presented a united front, even as the speculation refused to fade and further allegations surfaced over the years. It wasn't until 2007 that Victoria subtly acknowledged the strain, admitting the marriage had endured a deeply difficult period, though she avoided specifics. Nearly 2 decades later, the Netflix documentary Beckham finally cracked that wall of silence, revealing raw, emotional reflections from both David and Victoria, with Victoria calling it the hardest and unhappiest time of her life and David admitting he still doesn't know how they survived it. The series shifted the narrative from scandal to survival, showing 2 people fighting not for image, but for their family. Meanwhile, Rebecca Luz returned to the spotlight in 2023 and again in 2025, standing firmly by her story, criticizing what she saw as a double standard and the emotional toll the scandal took on her life, insisting that while Beckham's world remained intact, she carried the consequences. With Victoria's recent honesty, a long-sealed chapter of the Beckham story has finally been opened, not to sensationalize the past, but to reveal the emotional cost of fame, loyalty, and forgiveness, reminding the world that behind the headlines and the brand were 2 people navigating love, betrayal, and resilience in full view of millions.